Canadian Women Engagement Society, also known as ACWES. ACWES received this funding from the federal government of Canada through the New Horizon for Seniors program to enable senior women to combat isolation and adjust to the current and post-COVID-19 environment. The mandate of the African Canadian Women Engagement Society is to provide economic and social development support through capacity building initiatives to Black, visible minority, and immigrant women and young girls. Other initiatives of the organization are to combat sexual and domestic violence and train vulnerable individuals through basic career training and computer skills, microloan projects, and community mobilization through information sharing sessions. ACWES promotes stable communities and activities rooted in peace, independence, and self-sufficiency to facilitate the growth and development of women, youth, and less privileged members in our community. ACWES achieves its mandate and upholds its vision by providing direct services to as many as 134 community members annually. These services include 1. Providing a social and advocacy support system for women impacted by violence and connecting them with appropriate social and justice systems. 2. Increasing accessibility to social programming for Black, immigrants, and visible minority senior women to improve their community engagement and combat social isolation and loneliness. Facilitating the transfer of employment and business knowledge to Black and immigrant young girls and youths. And 3, to combat food insecurity through the provision of nutritional food to vulnerable families. Before we begin our workshop, let's take a look at this short video by NBC News discussing the effects of social isolation for seniors.
You all go home and sit with your families and your loved ones. We don't. We don't get to eat dinner with them. We don't get to sit with holidays for them. Memorial Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, birthdays. It all went by without being with them.
She can't come over, right?
No, she can't come over, okay?
So many people are watching their loved ones die. Our loved ones don't have the luxury of time.
There needs to be revision on the standards for visiting.
My baby, my baby, my baby. She's my baby.
We have to do something different. I'm sorry, bro. I'm
What does isolation do to a human being when you isolate them from their family and from other human beings? We're taking away the thing that's most important to anyone at the end of life, and that's your family.
In March 2020, New York State banned visitors from nursing homes because of COVID-19. The guidelines were implemented to protect residents from the deadly virus that's claimed over 90,000 lives in long-term care centers across the country as of early November. Over time, some facilities began allowing visits through a window or in-person visits that were socially distanced. While the pandemic has forced long-term care centers to impose strict restrictions on visitors, some medical experts say that social isolation after so many months is leading to many residents' rapid mental and physical decline, and in some cases, contributing to their deaths.
See. Oh, here's my grandparents. That's a good picture. Them on the boat together.
Oh, wow. You can't see the boat.
This one, my grandma wrote a note to my grandpa on it.
Does it say here?
To my Dolly, I love you so much, hun. for eternity. From your loving wife, Violet.
Social distance going on.
She can't come over, right?
Well, she can't come over, okay? I know, she can't come over, okay? Okay, okay, okay,
She was always into fashion and style. Let's see what else. Oh, I remember this so vividly. My grandma used to wear this nightgown all the time when I was a little girl because, you know, she raised me. When we would sit on the couch together, I used to always like pet the cheetah. It was my favorite nightgown when she wore it.
I just want to tell you something. Just come over here.
Just come a little bit.
Talk to me. You can't come. You can't come.
well,
I can't, I won't let you.
This woman isn't just my grandmother, she's my mother. I understand that the current policies are in place because they want to do everything right now to protect our seniors and our veterans and loved ones of families in nursing homes. But our elders are now dying from failure to thrive. They're giving up. They've been alone for 7 months. Families need each other. I was devastated when they told us we couldn't come in or see him. And my father didn't understand it when we explained it to him over the phone. He didn't understand what the virus meant. This is my father at 17 when he entered the service. He lied about his age so that he could get into the army. And this is my dad in Korea in the middle of the jungle during the war. So we did Zoom calls and then we graduated to window visits. And seeing your parent through a window like an animal in the zoo. Hi, Daddy. Trying to hear him, trying to see him through the screen, trying to advocate for him was heartbreaking.
You look good. Did you eat breakfast?
We understood it in the beginning. We understood why they had to shut it down and protect them. But we thought it would only be, well, maybe a month or two. But here we are 7 months later. They have all lost weight. Some of them say they just don't want to live anymore. The suffering is unmeasurable for loved ones and for families. How long is it okay to keep human beings locked up away from their families?
Now, this is the letter that I found in my mother's stuff. Beverly, I want to come home for good. I don't know how to get out of here. I would do anything to get away. See if you can do anything. I want to get out of here. I hope I can. And when I found this in her belongings, I cried. I couldn't help it. I said, if she wrote this down on paper with the intention of giving it to me, that must be how she felt.
The fact that I could see my mother for the first time in 7 months and not be able to physically embrace her or give her a kiss on the cheek or hug her or let her touch my belly and talk to my baby is one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever experienced in my life.
Oh, Chelsea, I love you. Come over, will you? Come over. Get out of the way, I want you.
I needed to do something to channel my negative emotions in a positive way and prevent more lives from being lost.
This is the ICCF Senior Safety Workshop. This is the Seniors Safety Awareness session that focuses on combating seniors' social isolation and loneliness. What is senior social isolation? Loneliness is the feeling of being alone, regardless of the amount of social contact. Social isolation is a lack of social connections. Social isolation can lead to loneliness in some people, while others can feel lonely without being socially isolated. First-generation immigrants experience stressors that can increase their social isolation, such as language barriers,